I'm Andrea Doyle, workplace mediator, conflict manager, author and speaker. In this post, I'm going to talk about one conflict management strategy that you need to use as soon as employees come to you who are in conflict. Now, when managing conflict, it's important that you don't overstep the mark or take too much control, because that means that there could be a potential damage to the outcome for the conflict. You also need to make sure that you are protecting your professional reputation and that of the organisation as you start to manage this workplace conflict. After being involved in conflict management for over 10 years, this is the one strategy I always start with when recommending to people in the workplace how to manage conflict well. And it is using the strategy of reported speech. Now, we're all familiar with summarising. So when we're summarising what we have heard in a mediation or in an intake session or even just in a discussion, it's important that we separate ourselves from the conflict. It's important that we are showing that we are managing the conflict. And the use of reported speech does this. Summarising talks about the facts and the feelings that have been discussed in the conversation, and coupling that with reported speech keeps you separate from the conflict. Reported speech shows that you are not buying in and you are not taking sides on the conflict, but you are sitting on the outside and you are managing the conflict. Now, examples of reported speech include: you started to say, you then continued with, you talked about, you expressed concern, you discussed. So words like that. So you'll notice how they all start with you. Sometimes it could be changed for a name. Sally, you went on to talk about. Jose, you commented on. So making sure that somebody else's name or the emphasis is on one of the people who are in the room is really important, and that's where the value of reported speech comes in. It easily demonstrates to those you are talking to that you're not involved in the conflict, but you are gaining an understanding of what has been said, and you're sharing that back with those you're speaking with. Now, as I mentioned, this is just one conflict management strategy to be used, but it's always an important one, as it does keep you separate from the conflict that's occurring in the workplace. There are other ones like active listening, making sure you're comfortable with the process, discussing facts and feelings, but reported speech does separate you from the issue. It does show that you are not taking sides and you are not buying in. Anytime you can have an opportunity to use reported speech, I recommend that you start practicing it, because it really is quite a good strategy to use in everyday conversation when you're trying to gain an understanding of what people are saying. And also, it helps let them know what they have said. Well, short and sweet post for this week. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Andrea Doyle.